Hi, I'm Barbara Rimkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. The little brick building behind me is the Exeter Powder House. It stands away from the center of town, across the Squamscott River on a piece of land that's had a lot of different names over the years. Powell's Point, Runlet's Point, Duck Point. But since 1999, it's called Powder House Point. It's not unusual to find these small buildings all across New England. Most of them are quite old, dating to the early decades of the nation. They were used to store gunpowder and firearms. In most places like Exeter, they were located away from the population center so that people were safe in case of an accident. This one's pretty sturdy, made of local brick. But imagine if it was full of gunpowder and somehow blew up. Each brick would become a missile, and you probably wouldn't want to be standing here. Exeter's Powder House was built in 1771, making it one of the oldest, but not the oldest, in the region. The town's records don't get into the details of why they decided to build it. There was a town warrant voted on in March of 1771, which said simply, to see if the town will build a powder house. The town meeting brought in 269 people, men, because it's 1771, who agreed to the proposal that a powder house be built of 8 feet within side round of brick. Perhaps the original design was a round building. A lot of powder houses are round. In any event, the structure, which is perfectly square, was erected pretty quickly. It was twice used for military stores during wartime. In 1774, before the Revolution really got underway, New Hampshire was already worried about having enough gunpowder. On the night of December 14th, a group of local men raided the British Fort William and Mary in Portsmouth Harbor and stole about 100 kegs of powder. These were then hidden, spread around between a number of towns. Exeter received 29 barrels. At first, they didn't hide them in the powder house because, that's where the British would be looking for it. So they were hidden in private homes all around town, which was super safe. Once hostilities heated up and Exeter became the state capital, the powder was moved to this location. Powder was also stored here during the War of 1812, which is when most New England towns built their first powder house. After that, gunpowder was stored here for some of the local businesses on Water Street. It was safer here, even if it was a nuisance to have to row over the river to get it. The powder house fell into disrepair after that. In 1888, when Charles Bell wrote his History of Exeter, he was already concerned that it was falling into decay. At times, the building was completely obscured by overgrown brush. In 1969, the Conservation Commission cleaned it up, but in 1975, it was again in terrible shape. The door had been ripped from the hinges, shingles were missing from the roof, and vandals had spray painted the interior. It was cleaned up for the bicentennial in 1976. But was looking rough again in 1999 when a group of citizens noticed that it was being attacked by red squirrels, which were gnawing their way through the roof. The group went before the town selectmen and got approval for fundraising. A new squirrel-proof roof was installed. The brickwork was pointed. There was a rededication ceremony held in July of 1999. Now there's a nice walking path to get out here, and along with history buffs, you might encounter bird watchers. You can see the Exeter Powder House from across the river on Swayze Parkway, which might be the best view, and there's ice cream pretty close by. This Exeter History Minute was brought to you by Foy Insurance. Maybe they should have insured the powder house roof. Anyway, how can you possibly need more Exeter history? You know you do. Check us out at www.exeterhistory.org, and we wouldn't mind at all if you became a member of the Exeter Historical Society.